This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Good evening, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for July 22, 2023. And in the news this evening, Montego Bay mayor in car crash on way home from Sumfest. Mayor of Montego Bay, Leroy Williams, was rushed to the Cornwall Regional Hospital on Saturday morning after a motor vehicle accident in the vicinity of Anshore, St. James. A well-placed source told the news that the vehicle that was being driven by Williams crashed into a parked trailer during his commute home after Festival Night 1 of the Reggae Sumfest. The news was unable to confirm other reports made regarding the condition of Williams, but was told that the mayor was traveling alone. Additional information to come. 18-year-old charged in mob killing of man in Old Harbor. An 18-year-old man has been charged with the murder of a man who was mobbed and chopped on Burke Road in Old Harbor, St. Catherine on Saturday, July 1. Dead is 47-year-old Jason Davis, otherwise called Tubby or Kevin, a laborer of Boodle's Crescent, Old Harbor in the parish. Charged with murder and a conspiracy to murder is Rasheen Freeman, otherwise called Benji, of North Street, Old Harbor, St. Catherine. Reports are that about 2:20 p.m., Freeman and his accomplices mobbed and inflicted chop wounds on Davis. Davis was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. An investigation was launched and Freeman was arrested. Following an interview session in the presence of his attorney, he was charged. His court date has not yet been finalized. Freeman's accomplices are currently being sought by the police. Customer shot dead in St. Elizabeth bar robbery. A patron was shot and killed during an armed robbery at a bar in Top Hill in St. Elizabeth on Saturday morning. Details about the incident remain unclear, but information reaching the news is that the patron was at the bar drinking about 1 a.m. when armed robbers pulled up at the establishment. The man reportedly refused to give them any money and he was gunned down. The deceased has not yet been officially identified. The robbers reportedly were able to make off with $7,000 from gambling boxes at the establishment. The news reported earlier this week that there have been a spate of robberies along the south coast of St. Elizabeth. Every night the man them a rob and the police did nothing. They got information, they know that the perpetrator is a wanted man from another parish, and they did nothing. And see it there, the robbers them kill somebody now. What the police going to do now? Them need to do something before more people dead, one bar operator told the news. 25-year-old man charged with brother's murder in Kingston. A man accused of fatally stabbing his brother during an altercation in the Delacree Park housing scheme in Kingston on Sunday, July 16, has been charged with murder by detectives assigned to the Hunts Bay Criminal Investigative Branch. Dead is 33-year-old Sean Palmer, a bearer of Delacree Park housing scheme in the parish. Charged is 25-year-old Jonathan Davis of the same address. Reports are that about 1:20 p.m., Davis and Palmer were at home when an argument developed between them. During the altercation, Davis used a knife to inflict stab wounds on Palmer's upper body. Palmer then ran from the house in a bid to seek assistance. However, he collapsed. He was taken to the hospital where he died whilst undergoing treatment. A report was made to the police and Davis was arrested. He was charged after he underwent an interview session in the presence of his attorney. His court date has not been finalized. Carpenter accused of attempting to shoot man at wake. A carpenter has been charged after he allegedly pulled a gun and tried to shoot a man during a brawl at a wake on 440 Drive in St. Andrew on Saturday, May 27. Charged is 21-year-old Tajay Blackwood of a 440 Drive address. Blackwood was charged with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition and assault at the common law. Detectives assigned to the St. Andrew South Police Division report that about 1:30 a.m., a man was at a wake in the area when he got into an altercation with Blackwood. During the brawl, a group of men who were in the company of Blackwood intervened. Blackwood took a firearm from one of his cronies and placed it under the man's neck while trying to squeeze the trigger. However, the weapon did not fire. The man then ran and a report was made to the police. Following an investigation into the matter, Blackwood was arrested. He was charged on Friday, July 21, after he underwent a question and answer session in the presence of his attorney. His court date has not been finalized. Blackwood's cronies are currently being sought by the police. Jamaican government acknowledges a request for asylum on behalf of 37 Haitians. The Jamaican government has recognized a request for asylum on behalf of the 37 Haitian migrants, including 8 children, who arrived in Portland last week. Information Minister Robert Morgan confirmed in an interview with the news Saturday morning that the letter with the request was received on Friday from Marlene Elaine, founder of Freedom Imaginaries. The development came as the Passport Immigration and Censorship Agency was making arrangements to have the group returned to Haiti after the adults appeared in court and were each fined $7,000 or 3 days of hard labor for illegal entry. Mr. Morgan had said earlier this week that the Haitians were advised of the possibility of applying for asylum, but none took up the offer. In his interview with the news today, he outlined the next steps in the legal process.
Now that a request has been made, another legal process is now engaged. These are clearly set out. It is not at the discretion of the government. It is going to have to go through the courts, and a committee is going to have to be set up to analyze and assess the status and circumstances of the persons who, through this attorney, has requested asylum. The government cannot force anyone who comes to its shores to stay. So I've heard the conversation, and we have heard the conversation, and it's pretty fascinating as even our own constitution prevents us, and the international conventions that we have signed prevents us from forcing someone to stay in a country. So the persons who come have a choice. If you come to Jamaica illegally and you want to stay, you have to apply for asylum, and then the justice system will make a determination based on all the facts that is before them, determine whether you qualify for it or not. It is not a policy decision, it's a legal matter. They're in the custody of a facility that is controlled by the Ministry of National Security. We have received any reports of them not being in good health. They are also being fed and being taken care of.
Many Jamaicans still not making wills, says Chalk. Justice Minister Delroy Chalk has revealed that the Administrator General's Department, which manages the estates of Jamaicans who die without making a will, has more than $50 billion worth of properties to administer. In that regard, Mr. Chalk is urging Jamaicans to create a will to prevent problems for their family members and the society. The Justice Minister was speaking Friday in St. James at the start of a roadshow by the AGD dubbed Securing Your Legacy. Noting that not having a will is a burden, Mr. Chalk said the AGD receives 300 to 500 new cases per year for administration. According to him, the department has the difficult task of satisfying the demand of the beneficiaries. He disclosed that many public servants, notably with the exception of members of the Jamaica Defense Force, are among Jamaicans who often die without leaving a will. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.